So you want to get an amazing deal on real estate. I suggest you start to get busy. You need a buy box. You need to understand average. You need to make disrespectful offers and perform lots of follow-up. What do I mean by all of this? Well, folks, if you pay attention, the market that I've been telling you is coming maybe even sooner than we expected. What do I mean? According to Logan Mohtashami from Housing Wire, something very interesting happened this weekend. Logan puts out a report or collects the data every weekend, reports on it on Monday, and active inventory across the United States fell. Now, it didn't fall by a lot, but the fact that active inventory is no longer building after building for weeks, months, and quarters is a sign. Remember, last week we learned from Realtor.com that delistings jumped 47% in May. In fact, year to date, reading more articles about this, year to date, delistings are up 35%. This is the market clearing itself. I have talked for years about wish pricing. You could think about sellers thinking it's 2022 and it's 2025. There has always been a distortion in the housing market. And now we are seeing it clear. It's going to clear over the next several months, so there really is no immediate rush. But you got to be looking. You've got to understand what is going on. Remember, all inventory is not equal. Where I ask you to look first is in your buy box, in your market. I suggest you put a line in the sand. And wherever that line is, it's different for every market, but that is called the median price for your market. What we are seeing in most markets is the disproportionate amount of inventory that is building is above the median. This is not where you find cash flow. This is not where you find first-time home buyers, but it is where you find the growing inventory. Next, I suggest you start looking for turnkey, move-in condition, FHA ready, and junk. What I am seeing in my markets is the junk is sitting. Frankly, the junk is mispriced. The junk thinks it's 2022. So again, we are starting to see a housing market clear. We are starting to see the wish buyers or wish sellers, leave. Thus, what will we be left with? We will be left with a market of sellers who need to sell, sometimes called motivated sellers. Again, my call is that July and August will still be weak on a transaction front. But again, it's going to surprise lots of people when September 2025 produces more transactions than 24 and 23. That will be the bottom. It will be the turn, and then the housing market will heal itself for the next several years. Feeling good, better and better about that call. Redfin reports that pending home sales are down 3.5% year on year, even though U.S. home prices hit another record high. Again, up roughly 1%. I've been hearing how bad the Denver real estate market is, so I went out and searched for it and found an article from the Denver Post. This is pretty telling to me. I've heard lots of people scream that Denver's the next Austin, the next Florida. So I thought I would look into what's going on in Denver. And again, this is not my data. This is from the Denver Post. Transactions in Denver are down 9.5%. Months of inventory is up to 3.6 months or up 7.7%. Days on market are up to 18 days, which is up 38%. Active listings are over 14,000, up 3%. Pending home sales down almost 2% to 4,000. However, price up 1.7% to 610 grand. Folks, lots of markets are really unhealthy. They're disproportionate, above the median, below the median, clean, junk. You really have to know your market and not chase the headlines. It is very, very interesting. Redfin out with some reports on rents, and thankfully rents are getting softer and softer, although predominantly in apartments, not in homes. According to Redfin, the decline is occurring in markets where new inventory is hitting the market. Talking with Ken McElroy the other day, he said it's not uncommon to see 3 and 4 months of free rent in Phoenix or Scottsdale area. That is pretty crazy. Interestingly enough, I read an article talking about Google searches. According to Google, the search for homes for sale hit the highest mark all year. Folks, as I've told you for many, many years, the consumers can act afraid for about 6 months, and then they say, F it. We're going to live our life. We're going to do our thing. I think people are going to be surprised at how busy the fall housing market is. How about another update from Realtor.com? Where are home prices rising? Rising. Yes, shout out the Northeast and North Central. We'll go bottoms up. This article actually had 10. I only took the top 5. Number 5, Muncie, Indiana. Muncie, Indiana is up 10.6% year on year. And the median price is $165K. I don't know anything about Muncie, Indiana, but there might be some cash flow there. How about number 4, Glen Falls, New York? Also up 10.6%. Median home price $369. Number 3, Duluth, Minnesota. Duluth, Minnesota up almost 12%. Median home price $327. Number 2, Weirton, West Virginia. I don't even know where most of these places are. I guess I'm geography challenged. Weirton, West Virginia, 12%. Median home price $150K. And number 1 is Decatur. Decatur, Illinois, up 12.4%. Median home price $149,900. Again, there is, I have to assume, some cash flow out there in some of these markets. Again, a lot of you hear me talk about a seller's market or a buyer's market, and you're like, not in my backyard. Let me be clear. The Northeast and the North Central are still very, very much seller's market. By these numbers, you can see why. Read an article about Las Vegas real estate. Obviously, I'm looking to put some dollars down here and grow a small portfolio. Looks like Las Vegas now has $7 billion. Yes, $7 billion worth of homes on the market. All I hear when I read articles like that is good news, good news, good news. Time to write some disrespectful offers and get a great deal. For those of you that thought the retail, the consumer was dead, I bring to you Black Friday in July or in summer. I guess it's July. Yeah, July. This is obviously Amazon Prime Day. Amazon Prime Day did $24.1 billion. Folks, that is up 30% year on year. The consumer is still spending, and I would argue starting to loosen the purse strings. Because why? A lot of consumers have been nervous the last 6 months, and we're getting really, really close to the end of that, and they will do what they always do. Let's shout out some new school members. Folks, we are building a community of wealth builders, both people that are getting started and folks that are down the path. You want to join school? If you work with the financial firefighter, you can even get the first month for free or reimbursed. Let's welcome Yennefer. I love that name. I don't know that I've ever heard that name before, but Yennefer, I think that's a very, very unusual and pretty name. David, Alexandra, and Bernice, thank you for joining school. Again, make sure you introduce yourself, get to level 2, number 3, unlock all of those goodies. Our Sunday conversation, which occurs in 21 minutes inside school, with Cody Davis, a multimillionaire at the age of 23, somebody who was buying properties at 18. If you are in school, you are going to want to ask him some questions. If you have kids, feel free to bring them along. Ask Cody questions. Again, Cody, thank you for being there. And next Sunday, I am trying to get the accountant to the stars, somebody I use and the Lumberdeck use, Bob Langworthy from Maine Bean Counters. We're bouncing around timelines, so stay tuned for that one. Also, I will be building out the Sunday conversations a little more organized so you guys can make plans to be there. Next week's a big week. We got CPI on Tuesday, and folks, buckle up. Buckle up. CPI last month was 2.4%. This is headline. It is expected to jump to 2.7. Oh, look at that. Cody Davis sent us a super chat. I think that's what that is. Thanks, Cody. I appreciate you. Oh, I guess I can put that on the screen, huh? You sent me $1, so here we go. There you go. Cody's on the screen. So CPI is expected to jump 0.3%. Again, this is something we've been calling for months now. It's called the base effect. As for core, it too is expected to jump. It is expected to go from 2.8 to 3%. So again, buckle up. This is going to be interesting. Will it land like a dud like last month with no inflation, or will we get something super sneaky and set the market on fire? So pay attention on Tuesday. Also, this week is full of Fed presentations or Fed speeches. Starting on Tuesday, we have 4 Fed speeches. Wednesday, we will get the second of 3 inflation readings. We will get PPI. We will get the Fed Beige Book, which is a summary of the 18 districts, and a couple of Fed speeches. Thursday, back to weekly unemployment claims and continuing claims. Retail sales. I think retail sales will be a big number this week. Are consumers still scared? Are they loosening the purse strings? Remember, we just got a Prime Day that was up 30%. We had Delta Airlines last week talk about bookings. So again, maybe the consumer is starting to come out of their shell, and we shall see. We'll get home builders confidence and also 4 more Fed speeches. And then Friday, we will get housing starts and consumer sentiment. What else do we got for you? Oh, yeah, of course, we can't forget President Trump. President Trump's out making waves again, talking about a 30% tariff on EU and Mexico going into effect August 1st. This is just standard Trump. I think everybody's figured it out at this point, is go crazy, make big headlines, force the person you're negotiating with to react. We will see if we get more taco trades or whatnot. On that front, though, Jamie Dimon is out with a big warning, one that we need to pay attention to. He is saying the market is underestimating the risk of Trump's past U-turns. Basically, Jamie Dimon is telling you that, you know what? Trump might be getting tired of the taco trade. He might feel the taco trade is actually insulting, and thus his ego will force him to move more aggressively. So be careful out there. And then lastly, shout out to the tariffs. The U.S. government, this is wild. The U.S. government posted a surplus in June as tariffs gave an extra bump to revenue or receipt collection, actually up 13%. Let me just tell you this, a government surplus in a month is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. The fact that we are paying down our debts is a good thing. Surplus equals good. All righty, folks. I hope to see you on the call with Cody. Chester, you got to sign up, buddy. You get a free month from Mark, the financial firefighter. You can come and ask some questions, have some fun. Like to see you in there doing what you do, helping people, asking questions. Everybody join school. It is the place you want to be if you are a new or growing wealth builder. It is a community of over 425 amazing people. Join, test it out, check it out, get all the free stuff, join the Sunday conversations. See you in a few minutes. Bye.